Homosexuality is not immoral. I
Hmm.
have to say it is,
Why?
because basically it's spiritual. Like
What?
at the end of the day,
What do you
those
mean spiritual?
desires, those, what do I mean spiritual? Well,
Yeah.
obviously I believe in God, and I was actually a part of the LGBTQ community, and it's because I came into agreement with thoughts that were put in
Hmm.
my head from the enemy.
How do you
From
know
the
they're
time
from?
that we're born,
Wait, how do you know they're from the enemy? I don't. First of all,
because
I don't believe
after,
in God, so all this just
that's
sounds like
fine.
astrology to me. But like, go ahead,
That's
keep
fine.
going.
Yeah, you don't have to believe for me to
Yeah.
share my experience. So, in regards to that, I came into agreement with those voices. It was like a battle in my head of me, like, oh, do I like women? Do I not? Because someone basically told me that I was going to like women when I was like 6 years old. So, I was like, man, okay, if they're telling me this, then maybe it's true. So, I went through this battle, and it grew and grew and grew over time until I was like full blown intimate with women, because I thought, just because these are my thoughts, this is who I am, and I claimed it
Hmm.
as my identity. And after like going through a lot in my life and revealing everything, like I just got sick of pretending, and I just exposed everything I went through, because I was
Hmm.
also sex essayed by a woman too. So that kind of
Hmm.
opened the door in my head too, like to look at women in that way.
Hmm.
And I had an encounter with Jesus, long story short, and my desire for women was gone after like exposing everything publicly that I went through.
Hmm.
And the desire was gone. So I prayed about it, and God brought me to the verse in the Bible that says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against the evil wickedness in the heavenly realms. So from the time that we're born, there's doors that are open from
Gotcha.
our parents, our grandparents, and they do stuff in secret that they don't speak on because they're ashamed about it, which is why a lot of parents want to like disown their child when they see it, because they see a
Can you tell
reflection
me
of what they
where?
try to hide.
Can you tell me where in the Bible it says that a woman shouldn't lie with a woman?
I don't know the Bible off the top of my head, but I'm
I've
sure
read
you
the
can
Bible three
Google it.
times, but it doesn't say it anywhere in the Bible. It says only men with men. It doesn't say anything about women with women. That's because back in those days, the people that were making the laws, pretending that it was God making the laws, they liked seeing woman on woman action. So they just said that, okay, we're just gonna not make that a sin.
Okay, so in regards to that, seeing what they liked seeing and
Hmm.
stuff of that nature, that's irrelevant. At the end of the day, God made us to reproduce. God made us so that we can literally create more life on
Hmm.
this earth. So, women can't do that with women. And that's just the reality of the thing.
Wait, so
So you can say the
if a
Bible
woman
didn't
gets like
say.
a surrogacy, then it's fine then. If like let's say we're talking about like two lesbians, right? If they get like surrogates, then it's fine because they're creating
So
life.
that's scientifically modifying certain things. So
It's still
like
creating life.
this is the thing that the world does. The world tries to say, okay, then we could do it scientifically.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, God created it to be a certain way, and it's not his will for a
Oh,
woman
so
to
he
have a child with
specifically
another
wants the
woman.
man to insert his penis inside of the vagina. Like he really likes that.
I'm not saying that that's what God likes, but that's
He
how
prefers it,
what
therefore he
God
must like
created
it.
us. That's what God created us to do.
Okay,
Like,
so he's watching to make sure that you're not doing IVF, but he's watching to make sure that you're like
so
he's
at the
also
end of the
watching to
day,
make sure that you're putting your penis inside of a
at the end of
vagina.
the day, when God knows, like, look, I fornicated quite a bit. I
Yeah.
slept with women quite a bit. I don't feel like God was watching me.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, what I did, and the reason why I had those desires, just like perversion, just like lust, is because I came into agreement with the thoughts that were placed in my head from the enemy. From the time that we're born, we have an adversary that places thoughts in our head to try and make us come into agreement with something that is not the way that we're supposed to be.
Sure.
Whether
So
it's like a trans woman who has thoughts like, oh, you're supposed to be a man. This is
mhm.
not how you're supposed to be. You always been a
Oh,
tomboy. You're supposed to be a man.
Wait, so
So
hold
then they
on.
come into agreement with
Plato,
that,
mute
and
real
they
quick.
become that.
Plato,
okay,
mute real
can I
quick.
say something real quick and I'll get
Oh
out?
yeah,
Just
go
real
ahead,
quick.
Plato. What you
Because
got?
according to her logic, God made it that way, right?
This ain't my
Um,
logic. This
oh no,
logic
no,
comes
wait.
from
Okay,
above.
okay. So scientifically, you said scientifically, didn't God give us the ability to do that too? So
The ability to
who
do
gave us the
what
ability to do it?
scientifically?
Huh?
The ability to do what scientifically?
For lesbians to like have a baby.
No, because I had said
God
nothing
didn't give us
about
that
nothing that
ability.
I
Okay,
friend.
so you
Nothing that I
contradict me. You know
said.
what? Okay, I'm
Nothing
outside
that
right
I
now. I'm
said.
sorry.
I didn't say that God did anything scientifically, Plato. That's number one. I never
So
said that
the
God did
argument
anything
is:
scientifically.
are there kids today who are a result of lesbian women having surrogates?
Are there kids today that are a
Yes.
result of lesbian women having surrogates? I'm sure
Yes. Being
somewhere in the
surrogates.
world it is because
Yeah,
it's being normalized.
it's in
Yeah,
America. Like you'll find it in every state, every city.
yeah,
So those
absolutely.
kids are not like those kids can still go to heaven. Those kids are they have been procreated. So your argument was first your argument was it comes from the enemy. There's nothing in the Bible that prohibits woman on woman attraction or sexual relation, nothing at all. And then on top of that, when they do, and you said, okay, well, God actually wants procreate. Well, they're able to procreate. They have a uterus. So like
See, that's the
I've cut off
thing.
both of your arguments there.
Not necessarily, because you're reading the Bible word for word and leaning on your own understanding, where the true understanding comes from above. And at the end of the day, the Bible doesn't say that the Bible says fornication is a sin against the body itself, but the Bible doesn't break down how when you fornicate with someone, you marry them in the spirit and spiritually accept whatever spirits they have within them.
Okay.
It's sexually transmitted diseases is what the world says, but it's actually sexually transmitted demons, and a condom doesn't protect you from that.
Okay.
And that's why we have
So if
all this
two
anxiety
so
and stuff
hypothetically,
running
if two
around.
people who are infertile have sex with each other, is that fornication? Because they're not going to procreate?
Anytime that you are intimate with someone, like when I was licking cooter, I was fornicating. So yeah,
So a man and
it's
a
still
woman,
fornication. Lusting after someone is
right? So a
fornication.
wife and a husband who are in a relationship with each other and they cannot have kids, they are infertile. If they are having sex, they are fornicating.
So no. At the end of
Why?
the day, that's not it's at the end of the day, that's probably just not her time to have a kid, or that's not her husband that she's with. But at the end of the day, it's not, if they're married, it's not fornication.
Wait, why not? If the point of them being together is to procreate, then why that the reason why I brought up the infertile part is because we're talking about two individuals who are having sex with each other or just being in a relationship with each other, and that relationship cannot produce kids. This is the exact same thing when it comes to two women or two men.
So do you not so when it comes to a relationship with someone and the relationship cannot produce kids,
Yeah.
it's because it's not that's not either not the husband that they're supposed to produce kids with, or it's because it's not God's will for them to have kids at that time. You talk
So
about people being infertile, but let me tell you something. There's a lot of infertile women who literally are told you will never have a child. It's never going to happen for you.
yeah,
It's
especially
just
when they
not
get a
going to work
hysterectomy
scientifically.
because
So
like
no. And
like
then
some
guess
women have
what?
like
They
a
end up having
some women
kids.
have like cysts or tumors and they get a hysterectomy. You will never have a kid if you have a hysterectomy. I hope you know that.
Okay, so yeah, on the rare case that you have a hysterectomy, you may never have kids. But at the end of the day,
So
people are
should they
told
not
all
be
the
able to get
time.
married?
People are told no. I'm not saying that. See, you're
Is
taking
it?
my words and you're doing what you want with them. But I never once said that. Oh, I said men and women are sleep with each other for the intent of reproducing, for creating life. That was a whole reason that God gave us what
Yeah,
they
I
gave
know
us, so
that's what
that
you
we can
said. So I
recreate life.
said when
But
they
I never once
when
said
we
that it's
take away that.
fornication for.
Yeah, so you said that the reason why people are having sex, like the reason why they should be having sex is to create life. So I'm giving you scenarios where people are having sex without the intent of creating life. For example, wearing a condom is having sex without the intent of creating life. So under your logic, then two infertile people can't have sex. You can't do the pull-out method. You can't
That's not. I'm
you
not
can't
saying
swallow. You
that
can't give
God.
blowjobs. You can't do hand jobs. You can't finger. You can't do any of
Well,
that. The reason why is because none of those, all of those are actions that do not result in
I
the
am
pregnancy of a
literally,
kid.
I never once said
The
that you
pregnancy of
should
a
only be having sex if you're going to have kids. I said that that's the intention that God gave us. That's how we are reproduce children.
okay.
God wants us to be fruitful. But of course, like every time that I have, like if I had a husband, every time that we did the nasty, I'm not going to be doing the nasty with him, like with the intention of reproducing.
Okay.
But that is intention behind reproducing in the whole. That's like the what we're supposed to do. That's
So
what God
I'm gonna
wants us
ask
to
this question
reproduce. But I
again.
never
So
said
if a
that that's
woman
how.
has her uterus removed, meaning she's never gonna have kids, at least as far as science will take us, is it fornication for her to have sex?
If it's not her husband, yes. But with
Okay.
her husband, no.
Okay, so if lesbian women are married, then it's fine for them to have sex with each other. Then it's no longer bad.
No, because it's not God's will for woman to be with woman, period. There's a spirit behind that. Satan gets in your head. He uses your abuse that you went through with a man, or the fact that you didn't
Uh,
have a man in your life at all. And he tries to convince you that you are a certain way. Because at the end of the day, what Satan's ideal is to do is to separate you from your identity that God gave you. So how can he do that? By convincing you to do things that are not God's will for your life.
okay. Do you
Like
think
changing
that
your
God?
body.
Yeah. Do you think that God is like how we're born is how God designed us?
Do I think that how we're born is how God designed us?
Yeah.
Meaning like how we come out of the womb?
Yeah, like our brain, our eyes, our eye color, our genes, our legs, feet, all that, skin color, all that. That's how God designed
Absolutely,
us.
but
Okay.
I believe that depending on the bloodline that you're born into, Satan can have access to you in the womb, and he can have influence over your thoughts as soon as you come out.
What
So
bloodline would
meaning
that
that
be?
as you grow, what was that?
What bloodline? What bloodlines is like Satan?
So sin is generational. So if your parents did stuff in the dark that they don't speak about, then those spirits, because they didn't close the door, affects you. Have you ever heard that song by Panic at the Disco? I read Sins Not Tragedies, and he's all like, haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? And it's like literally, he's literally acting as Satan, talking about how people don't close the doors, and then all of this stuff happens based off sins. He says, I don't create tragedies, like sins. So at the end of the day, our sins lead to the tragedies because our parents aren't closing the doors. And he's literally made that song, but everybody's just like singing along to it. They don't even know what he's talking about because no one has any type of like spiritual discernment or awareness of the spiritual realm at all. But that's what that song means.
Okay. So you think that if somebody is, I'm just gonna get back to my original question. Nobody chooses to be gay. They are born that way. There are a
No, they're
wide
not.
host of genes and genetics that influence somebody's sexual orientation. So, I
So
mean,
why
there's a
am I not
small
gay
cert.
anymore?
Yeah, it's not 100%, right? So, like, it's not like 100% of people will do it. Like, for example, do you think that if like somebody has like a gene that makes them more likely to have blue eyes, that means 100% they're gonna have blue eyes?
No,
Yeah,
that's of course
it's
not.
by chance, right? But it does strongly influence. So you'll find like a small percentage of people who do choose to be gay or choose to be straight, something like that. But for the most part, it is natural. They have identified
I'm
multiple
gonna have to
genes.
strongly disagree.
Yeah, well,
It's
this is
not
what the science
natural.
says.
It's not
Like
natural at
we have been
all.
able to associate
Science
genes with like a whole
Scientists are
host of like
also
genes.
working on AI bots as we speak that have the potential of taking over. You are aware of that, right? But
That's
you
not
trust
relevant
everything
to
that
the
a
conversation.
scientist says.
Wait,
I mean,
wait, hold
I'm
on.
just
This doesn't
saying.
logically follow because the AI, if it can take over, it can. Like you're just saying, like the science is wrong, but in that case, the science would be right that the AI can
No,
take
I'm
over.
saying
So what
that
I'm talking about
scientists
here
are
is a.
not
So they have
doing things with
identified
our
not
best
only the.
intent at
Wait, hold on.
heart.
They've identified not only the genes that makes up somebody's sexual orientation. They've also identified the loci, which is the position on the chromosome that it's located at. They've found a wide host, but 5 that are strongly associated with it. We have this with a lot of different behaviors: alcoholism, depression, anxiety. Some of those things can be more genetically determined and things like that. But yeah, like so the reason why you're straight is because you were genetically predisposed to be straight. And the reason why somebody's gay or
Huh?
bisexual is because they were genetically predisposed.
Okay, so here's the
So God
thing.
designed us like that. Yeah.
God did not design us like that,
Well,
but the
you
enemy
said that
definitely has
he wrote
influences on
the
our thoughts. So
genetic code.
you believe that people are born trans as well.
So I don't know if there's any genes associated with it. I know in one study there was a CYP17 gene in like trans men, for example. But generally, when we're talking about like somebody being trans, we're talking about like a difference in how the brain develops, across like the normal trajectory of how like most people's brain would develop in the womb. It'll be just like somebody's born with a male body, but they have like a female brain. So like, what do you do when you're like as a female? Like, what would you do in like a male's body? You'd be like, oh, I want to turn it back to a female's body. So
I'd probably
yeah,
try to get to the root of what's up with me for me not to accept myself. Meaning, at the end of the day, I don't feel like, oh, it's a male it's a male, it's a female body. I believe that people can't control what's going on inside of them, so they think that changing what's going on outside of them will solve it. And then you find that a lot of the people who end up doing this, they're not at peace with themselves. They're not actually happy.
Well, nobody's ever at peace, but yeah, it does lower. Yeah, it does. So it does lower like anxiety, suicidality, and things like that. I don't want to pivot to trans people just yet, because we haven't solved the whole homosexuality problem that we're debating here. So when we're talking about that, you think it's immoral because God said it is, but you're specifically. Yeah, you think because God said it is, but God never actually said that in the Bible. So you pivoted to then procreation. Well, they can procreate, so like. And like it's logically inconsistent because you don't apply this to anybody else, but you only special plead for gay people, which is crazy.
God refers to man in the Bible a lot, but he's not just talking about man. He's talking about woman as well. So if you look through the Bible, you see that God aims a lot of things at man.
What's a woman?
But at the end of the day, that's because that was his first creation.
So a man is a woman?
No, a man's not a woman.
Oh, then why is God saying a man is a woman?
Men.
Yeah.
Like, because that's a where.
No, he said a man. No, he said a man shall not lie with a man as he does. No, he specifically says that a man should not lie with a man as he would with a woman. So what you're telling me is that he said a man should not lie with a man as he does with a man, or a woman should not lie with a woman as she does with a woman.
He will say, why do you think that he says a man shouldn't lie with a man, but a woman should lie with a woman? Is that what you're saying?
Why did he only specifically say man? Why did he leave out woman?
Because that's the thing. You could read the Bible with your own understanding, or you can reveal the truth that you conceal about the pain that you've experienced in life, so you can get the understanding from God.
No, I just get it, the understanding from the culture of the time and the culture that we see now. Most people are just like most people, especially most people who are like who say that homosexuality is bad, they tend to only have that problem with men, but they're happy seeing lesbians go at it.
Well, coming from someone who was licking cooter, they're both immoral. Yeah, and I'm someone who was actually like that. And I didn't pray to God, Jesus, please help me with my homosexuality. I didn't do that. It was just gone. The desire for women was gone. And I was like, okay, why was I this way before and I'm not this way now? And then God revealed that it's all spiritual. And me being young, the enemy used one of my family members, because he works through unhealed people who have trauma that they haven't healed from, to tell me that I was going to be gay. And then I'm having this battle within my mind because I'm coming into agreement with the thoughts. When you come into agreement with thoughts, they don't leave. You come into agreement with the spirits behind those thoughts. Every thought that you have in your head is not yours. It's the same thing with people who end up unaliving people. It's the same thing with people who are depressed. It's the same thing with people who get told that their lips are small and now they go get their lips done. And then they came into agreement with that spirit. They're looking in the mirror, oh, my lips are small. And they come into agreement with that spirit, get their lips done. And now the spirit is like, okay, well, that works. So let's get them to destroy something else.
So if being lesbian wasn't for
spiritual
you,
warfare.
So if being lesbian wasn't for you, that's perfectly fine. But you haven't been able to demonstrate at all for the 300 people here why it's bad or immoral. Like, it doesn't harm anyone. So like, why is it immoral?
Because you're coming into agreement with spirits, and if those spirits are within you.
So in the worldview of somebody who doesn't believe in your God, why is it bad?
They're from the enemy, and it's the enemy trying to deceive you, and we can't receive eternal life with those spirits on us.
Okay, so if I'm just like a religion that just says like being straight is a bad spirit and being gay is a good spirit, how do you argue against that?
Wait, you said if you're just something, I couldn't even hear you.
If I'm a part of a religion and my religion says, God says that actually being straight is the bad spirit and being gay is the good spirit, how do you argue against that?
I mean, I want to argue against it. I just pray for your clarity. Like, in reality,
I would just pray for your clarity. Yeah, sure.
In reality, I'm not here to force you to see things my way, because at the end of the day, I'm just me. But
no,
I can
you just
tell
have
you the
to
truth.
present a logical argument, and your argument is completely untenable and inconsistent.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but scientists aren't telling you that things are spiritual because they want to keep you going to their big pharma and thinking that you're depressed.
Do you have evidence that a spirit exists?
At the end of the day, I don't have to have evidence.
Yeah, I know you
mental
know.
Illness
You know
exists.
Yeah.
You see that spirit.
Wait, how do we know that mental illness exists? How do we know that?
Look around you.
Yeah, wait, how do we know that mental illness exists?
You see people unaliving people. You see people raping people. You see people
that's not evidence
that
of
are
a spirit.
abusing people. You see people
you don't need
that
a spirit to kill somebody
out and become so angry that they literally are just like flipping things over, becoming a whole different person when they drink.
Yeah, okay.
That stuff.
That's not evidence of a spirit. Yeah, wait, hold on. That's an alcohol spirit. Hold on. Are you just confusing spirits with alcohol?
at the end of the day, what do you think why do you think spirits are in the name of alcohol? Do you know
Yeah,
what
I
the
got you.
word
Yeah,
alcohol
wait.
originates from?
Yeah, okay. So we're basing whether there are spirits based on the etymology of spirits in alcohol. That
No,
as
I'm
that,
just
that being
saying
the
that if
name.
you look around you, you can see the spirits that people
Uh,
have within them, because at the end of the day, it ain't right. Everything that God said it was going to happen
You
is
haven't been able
happening.
to
People
you
are
haven't been
lovers
able to present an
themselves.
argument why it's not right. I can tell you
Well,
my
that's
position is that
totally
it's
it's totally
amoral.
fine.
Nobody's ever been able to give me a logical position for why homosexuality is immoral. They just give me like their feelings or like ill, gay, bad, and that's it. That's really what you said here. When you put it under the slightest bit of
No, not
scrutiny,
really.
you
I
just
said that
crumble. Like you don't apply this to like infertile people who have the same condition. You wouldn't apply it to somebody who's celibate. You wouldn't apply it to somebody who's having sex with
it's not a
a condom.
condition for a woman. That's the thing. It's not a condition for a woman not to be able to have
I'll let you
like
talk to some woman
intimacy with
here.
another woman. It's not possible. So at the end of the day, you want to call it a condition because, and you always want to, people always want to mention infertile women. That I can see as a condition, but a woman not being able to reproduce a child with another woman is not a condition. It's just impossible.
Wait, okay, so I can actually make this. I can actually make it more analogous. So if you're born with a genetic condition that doesn't allow you to have kids, then would that be something? Would that be the same
At
as?
the end of the day, no one can say if you can have kids or not besides God. He's the creator of life. He's
Well, yeah, because
the
he
creator of death.
non-consensually
So at the end
impregnated
of the
Mary.
day,
Yeah.
I've met many women who were told you would never have a kid. You're never gonna be able to birth a child. You just don't have this. You don't have that, and they ended up having a child. Doctors were
That's great.
shocked. Doctors were
That's
shook.
great. That's
So at the
awesome.
end of the day, you don't know. We don't know. Doctors cannot tell you what's going to happen. There's people that have stage 4 cancer, and doctors say you're going to die in 60 days, and that person ends up miraculously healed.
Okay,
will
yeah,
never
but
walk
that
again,
happens like
and
a
they
lot
walk again.
less likely. Like that's like super
Yeah, those are
duper
just like
rare.
miracles.
So
Because
yeah,
it's
like,
not
that's like that's
publicized.
no, it's called a miracle. The reason why. So here's the thing that like freaked me out about you, because earlier somebody asked the question and you said that science isn't like. So you don't believe that there aren't doctors or medical professionals who work in like that? Those aren't God's hands. Like that they aren't extensions of Him. Are we not extensions of God?
Absolutely. Far
So
few
then
in
those same
between.
doctors that
Absolutely.
tell you that like yeah, like I'm sorry, but you're
There's
gonna
also
be
doctors that
infertile.
work for Satan.
Oh, okay, sure. So also question, like, so my thing is, and like, I know y'all are gonna laugh at this, but I'm like, oh, so serious. So like, I'm really, really good in bed, like really, really good in bed. And I am wholeheartedly under the impression that God blessed me, and I would be totally, totally wrong if I did not
Same.
share this blessing with both men and women. Like, I feel like I would be sinning if I denied the beautiful women like access to my blessing, you know?
Hey, I feel the
All
same
right,
way.
Maybe
well, good
that's
for
why
you.
you didn't
I'll
work
pray
out
for
as a
you.
lesbian. Were you not
Like
blessed enough to
that's your
provide
life, sis. You
women
can live it how you
with
want.
the
That's
fire?
tank. You calling me a
But
liar?
at the end of the
She
day,
said
what I
you want to
want you
find
to
out.
know is when you lay with those people and you just think, oh, I'm blessing them, you're also like harming your own temple because you're coming into
Alycia,
agreement with the spirits
Oh,
that
I'm
they
coming
carry.
somewhere.
So when you have depression,
Can I be
you have
blessed with what
anxiety,
I
Too many people
and when
talking.
you
Too many
have,
people talking. Too
low
many people talking.
self-esteem or low self-confidence, then just know that could be a result of the fact that you literally came into agreement with the spirits that those people carry.
See, but the thing is
I
that
came into
God
something.
puts good people in my path. That's why I'm so like confident, because I only eat confident coochie. Like that's what you got to do.
Why haven't
One thing that I would
been
say
put
is
in
the
your path?
people who are trying so hard to put on this act like they're confident and they have it all together, those are the people that are breaking down behind closed doors, hating their life and dealing with so many demons that they can't even
Honey, it's more
tolerate. It's an
likely the hate
image.
that you're spewing. Usually
What-
people who
what
are
did I say
dealing
to
with
hate
demons
anyone?
spew out hate. You see how I'm joking about this and I'm trying to make good fun? It's because I like literally have a light inside of me that you cannot dim. Like,
So was
baby.
it not? So do you not agree that a lot of the people who put in an act like they have everything together and they're like
No,
living their best
absolutely.
life
Some
are
people
absolutely
handle
lying?
depression differently, but that's not the case here. That you're trying to like.
Well, I'm
pivot
not
to or
saying
project.
you. I
That's not
never
the case
said
here.
you.
No, but that's what you were trying to hint at, but it didn't work.
No, you
As
just
I said,
the
like
shoe
I
must
have a
have
light
fit, so
that
you
you
put it
can't
on.
dim.
The shoe must have fit, so you put it on. I've never said
No,
Alycia. I never
no,
said
baby. Like we
Alycia,
all
this is
know when
you.
someone tries to throw a rock and it falls
No,
short.
you
Like we
literally
see
tried
it.
to play
We
Cinderella, and the
see it,
shoe
honey.
didn't.
We
If the shoe
see
didn't
it.
fit, you shouldn't have tried to stuff your foot in it because at the
It's
end of the day,
okay.
it
It's
wasn't for
okay. You
you.
tried and you failed. It's okay. Just like you
No, I
tried to
just
be a
literally
lesbian and
just
you failed.
responded
It's
with
not built. It's
honesty.
not,
Damn.
everybody's not cut out for the carpet munching life.
Oh.
Everybody's not cut
Can
out
I-
for it.
Oh,
She said you wasn't
my
good enough,
God.
Jaleesa. You gonna take that? I wouldn't take that, honestly.
Well, honestly, I don't seek my validation in people, so
It's
Can I ask two
giving.
questions?
Athena, you got
Go,
the
go
floor.
ahead,
Go ahead.
Athena. Go ahead, Athena. I love you.
Okay. Number one, Alycia, where can I sign up for this app? For like scientific research, of course, for scientific purposes. Very serious question because I'm looking to be blessed. Second of all, Jaleesa, you said that when you were initially the reason why I requested was you said somebody told you to be gay when you were a kid and
No.
therefore you became gay.
no.
Who
Someone
told you
said
to be
I
gay?
would be, and then I'm
Who
6
was
years
that
old.
person?
Oh, that was my sister. Just the way I carried myself and stuff, she said that I'm gonna be gay, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And then that like opened a door in my mind to where I'm
Yes,
having
I
these
am.
thoughts like, does she know something about me that I don't know? Because this is my sister. She's 5 years older than me, and she's telling me that I'm gonna be gay. So maybe she knows something about me that I don't know. So then I'm looking at girls, and it's like I'm at this war with myself. Like, am I attracted to them? I think she's pretty, but am I attracted to them? And then the thoughts just grew and grew and grew until it got to the point where I accepted that as me, as who I was.
So do you think that how old was your sister at that time?
Well,
When she was telling you?
she was 5 years older than me, so she was like 11, and also my older sister.
Okay.
We're all 5 years
Okay.
apart. So you could do the math.
So both of your sisters, do you think they caused you to be gay, or do you think they were just making
No.
an observation?
I think they sowed a seed. They opened a door in my brain for me to start having that spirit with
I
me.
need so much
Like
seed
that's what
somewhere.
Satan does.
So
Same-
how does one go about by like sowing seeds in people so they can be gay?
So let me use a different example than the gay, because at the end of the day, there's many examples of this. For example, someone can come to you, right, and they can say, "Oh, you have no butt," and now you are looking in the mirror. You never thought about your butt before. You're looking in the mirror every single day, like, "Man, I really have no butt. I never even thought about my butt before this, but I have no butt." And you battle that until eventually you go and you get surgery to have that butt. And then
See, I can't relate because nobody has ever told me that. But again, back
Same,
to
but-
the gayness thing. How can one sow a seed of gayness in a person that turns a person gay?
by opening a door for them to
Wait,
have
but you
that-
and you said your sister opened the door for you?
Yes, but also
Okay, because
like,
Twitch
the
is
thing-
saying that you said before that your uncle
he said it
opened
was
the
your
door. So
uncle.
I'm
I
just
heard
a
that.
I
little
never
confused.
said anything about my uncle in this whole
Interesting. So how
conversation.
come
I just
said
said
I was
what the Twitch
essayed
said.
by
I was,
a relative.
I got two phones.
Yeah,
So was
and
it
I
so,
one
so
for the
was it
looked at
your
her
eggplant.
because
uncle?
I never said anything about my uncle. How did my uncle make me gay?
Was it
I don't
aunt or
know.
uncle?
No, I said my sisters. Nothing about an aunt, nothing about an uncle. I'm not sure where you guys got that from, but I said my sister. I said I was essayed by a relative, maybe that.
Okay.
And you
okay, no
think-
problem.
And you think
Confusion
that
happened.
essay caused you to be gay?
So basically,
first of all, I'm
as a
so sorry,
young-
by the way, that you went through that, and nobody should be going through that. So I'm very sorry that you went through that, and I hope that you are in an environment right now where you can successfully process that trauma, because it's genuinely horrible. I think the issue that I have here is, right, the way that you've been framing queerness. Number one, you said something about SA, then you said something about Satan using people to sow
Yeah.
seeds of whatever you wanted to say, and then thirdly, you talked about when you weirdly sang Panic at the Disco, which again, I love Panic at the Disco, so I was a bit offended by that. But anyways, when you sang that song, you said that there are sins written in our bloodline. And the issue that I have here is that all those framings of being queer were rooted in something negative.
No, thank you.
That's the issue that I have,
Turn that
right?
shit off.
So what did you mean by writing sins in your bloodline? Do you mean that if your parents were secretly gay, that you then become gay? Can you explain
No,
how
I
that
believe
works?
that
Oh
the
my gosh,
spirit,
thank you.
the
Sorry.
spirit
Jesus.
has access to you when your parents don't pull it from the root. So you have to deal with that spirit trying to tempt you into that lifestyle. That's what I mean.
That doesn't make sense at all. I'm sorry. It's just like, to me, it doesn't make sense. So you're saying that, so you're basically trying to equate being queer with a generational curse, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Amongst other things, trauma is generational, depression is generational. It's all generational.
But that is something that you personally
Perversion,
believe because
lust.
you're a Christian, right? So if I am
I'm
not
not
a
a
Christian,
Christian. I follow
okay,
Jesus, not Christian.
a Jesus follower, right?
Yeah,
So
you
that's
can
what
say
you
that.
believe because you're a Jesus follower. What if somebody is not a Jesus follower? Why would that jurisdiction apply to them?
So, I mean, you don't have to acknowledge the spiritual realm. It still exists. So, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it's still a fact.
So, do you know that there
I
are some
acknowledge
like
the spiritual realm.
you know there are some Christians who think that being black is like a evil spirit that's passed on from generation to generation. You know, there's some Christians that believe that.
You know, there's some
Mormons.
Christians that
You
literally
know about that?
like touch children. That's why I don't follow Christians.
Yeah.
Just because someone says
Yeah, they do.
I'm a Christian doesn't mean they're a good person that follows Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a
So,
delusion that many people
yeah.
have.
So like the Christians that believe that somebody is evil or like inherently evil because they've been passed on like blackness, like just being black. I find them just as evil, immoral, and degenerate as you believing that somebody being gay is something that's passed on via
Well,
Satan,
guess
like evil
what?
spirits. So those are the same
Guess
thing.
what,
You
Hope?
can't tell me that they're different. You
Guess what,
can't.
Post? I don't desire for you to like me. Jesus said, if the world hates you, just know it hated me first. I
That's
don't
perfectly
care if
fine.
you
I'm just
like
letting you
me.
know
I
that
don't
you
care
are
how
a
you see
degenerate.
me.
Yeah, I'm just letting
I'm
you
gonna
know.
speak the
It's fine. Like
truth,
I
whether
have
you
to
like
speak
it
my
or not.
truth. Like
I don't care.
I have
I
to
don't
speak the
desire
truth.
to
Like
be. I don't desire. I
it's
know this seems
perfectly
weird because
fine.
so many people speak and they want people to like them or they want people to validate them. I don't crave that. You see, I seek my validation from above. I love myself. I know who I am. I know who God made me to be, and He made me to tell the truth. That's why I'm unbothered.
What
Well,
does
I
a
hope it didn't make you a
herpes what does
bigot. I
a
hope that was the devil
Oh
and
well,
not
you
God.
know
what does a
herpes
herpes
means?
advocate mean?
Oh, I can definitely tell you. So, I used to sleep around and I
Damn, what the hell was
eventually
that?
got
Thank you.
herpes.
A what?
And now I
She
speak.
has herpes advocate in her bio,
Yeah,
and I just
Like
absolutely.
herpes, like the venereal, the
yeah,
Herpes like
herpes
HB2,
advocate.
like sores on the cuckoo. Yeah.
So
Oh,
you're talking, well, so no. So I am somebody who I understand that the vast majority of the population all have either one or two. Like I can acknowledge that, and I do think that it is over stigmatized and all that. But
Is that a
so
spirit?
like, are you just an advocate for the not normalization, but the non-demonizing of herpes? Is that what you are?
Exactly. I speak up for the people who feel silenced and condemned due to the stigmatizing. That's why I have herpes advocate on my page, because there's people who literally feel like their life should be over, like they have nothing to look forward to because they have herpes. And I even went through that in my life. So due to the fact that I exposed myself to like everybody, I have no shame about it. I
So
speak
you-
up
That
for the
was like
people who are
careless.
still
You shouldn't
stigmatized.
expose yourself to everybody. I
don't
am
care what
speaking
people
as
think.
somebody. I have relatives and family members who sadly, like, this is why I'm a big advocate. Don't nobody touch or kiss my baby on the mouth. Because I have family members who, as children, were kissed on the mouth by an adult, and now they sadly have
Oh, wow.
HSV1. That happens that's why that's like such a huge thing, but that happens very, very commonly. And most people have the ability, which is why people get cold sores. They just have not had it so activated. It's under the same umbrella of like chickenpox, shingles, those things. But I
have
think
a question.
that I think that there should be, like, I get that you're this whole, like,
Guess what happened, guys? Guess what fucking happened? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild, bro. Wow, TikTok. Wow. Jesus banned me. All right, that's the generational curse. Me getting fucking banned on every other live stream. Banned for nothing. Yeah, it just says general. It's not even giving me like a reason. Let me go ahead and appeal this. Do you agree with this decision? No. Because I could get like it back in like 5 minutes. If that's the case, then Submit. Appeal. Submit. All right, I'll just wait for that appeal process to go through. I was speaking. Yeah, I know. Fucking damn spirits got the TikTok. Damn, the fucking spirits can use the damn internet now. They're evolving, okay? Jesus Christ, what's that? Hey, Cali Berry, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the appeal to go through, and we'll see how that goes. Sometimes it can take a few minutes, sometimes it can take a few days. We don't know. But oh shit, what happened? Yeah, I got banned. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. I was talking, they came out my mouth. They say your words are cold sores, okay, Alycia? Alt account. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a few minutes. Fuck, man. They don't never want me to be great. Sometimes the appeals come back quick though, so we'll see. I'll keep refreshing. Yeah. It's a Godfather's reporter. Yeah, I know. I don't like how people just fucking like comment on my most recent video. What happened? Like, you know, I'm not gonna like respond to that, right? Yeah, drink water. We'll get back into it if we get our appeal through in the next few minutes. Appeal submitted. Still no update. Appeal update. Bro, get the fuck out of here. Y'all don't even check this shit. Your multi-guest will be restored on May 31st. They didn't even fucking check it. Like, it's all fucking automated, bro. That shit's so fucking stupid.